Steady, Hannah!
Well, how did we get here? Welcome back to Supernova Traveler. If you are new around here, join our Travel Around the World family. And if you are a returning member, please remember to subscribe, like, share, comment, and continue your journey as we review another episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor, The Altar of the Dead, where we discover the story of Miss Grose and what truly has been affecting Miles. This is actually a beautifully crafted episode, and I don't think I will be able to add everything to make it make sense, but hopefully you watch it and I'll try my best. Just to bring clarity to the situation, Miss Grose, since we met her, has been a ghost with a fractured mind. So I will attempt to break down the episode so we understand how we got here.
We can't count on the past.
We start off with Owen and Miss Grose sitting around the fire. In Owen's drunken state, he discusses how the past and the future are fleeting memories.
Maybe I'll go back to Paris, and
that are not concrete, and now all you truly have is the present. He then wants to run off to Paris since he doesn't have anything holding him at Bly Manor anymore since his mother has passed. And as the episode proceeds, we keep coming back to this moment, and we keep coming back to multiple moments because, as we find out in the end, her mind is fractured. So this entire episode, her ghost and her ghost's mind is trying to realize that they're actually dead. Since episode 1, we have seen Miss Grose in a daze, always off in a different world in her mind. And during this episode, we get to see where Miss Grose's mind goes. And as the fire warms their face, we find her mind wandering to the past when she first meets Mr. Owen, as she interviews him for the job as the cook. So, as an audience, we have to understand that these are not just past memories. We are watching as Miss Grose's subconscious is trying to put all the pieces together as she realizes she is no longer in the world of the living.
Once we get past consciousness and identity and all of the things that occupy the front of our brains, you reach a transcendence.
As you look at the episode, you realize that Owen is acting as her subconscious. We make an abrupt transition from the interview to another memory of the Wingraves from a time that they were visiting Bly Manor. And Miss Grose first meets Peter Quint.
Directly, will you?
Immediately.
We see that even in the beginning, Peter Quint did not have a good attitude nor a good character. We see how the memory goes from day to night. Her memories have collided, causing her confusion, disorientation, but giving us more information about what's going on at Bly Manor. Because Miss Grose's mind is fractured, the memories are presented to the audience in no particular order, which represents the talk that Miss Grose had with Owen, saying that the past and the future are all kind of non-existent and all they actually have is the present, or everything kind of happens at the same time simultaneously from his perspective with his mom having Alzheimer's.
Any of us could die at any moment, or we could forget our entire lives, which is like dying.
We move into a memory with Miles, and he's acting uncharacteristically.
Stop it! Miles! You stop that this instant!
And we watch as the pieces continue to fall into place. If you pay close attention to the episode, you notice that Miss Grose is as much a bystander in her memory as we the audience are. We, along with Mrs. Grose, glide into another memory, not knowing how we came to be in it. Miss Grose is cleaning the house, and Peter Quint bumps into her, as if she doesn't exist, as he finds his way to Miss Jessel. We watch as Mrs. Grose eavesdrops on the conversation between the two. Miss Grose is caught eavesdropping, and Quint walks up behind her to taunt her, and as the memory starts to end, she sees the cracks in the wall. I believe that these cracks as representation of her fractured mind. And we move into another memory, and we find out that Peter Quint is just not a good guy. So we see that Peter Quint has always been a thief, and Hannah Grose has always been a thorn in his side. Peter Quint does not look fondly upon people of wealth, and he believes wholeheartedly in classism. He has on more than one occasion threatened to get Miss Grose fired because she has caught him stealing from the Wingrave family. But he feels he has power over Hannah because of his status in the family, because of his job position. He continuously tells people that Mr. Wingrave is telling him to pick up items or he is doing inventory, which is always a lie.
You scared me.
What are you doing up here?
Henry asked me to pick up a few things.
Not from Charlotte's Vanity.
If you have been paying close attention to the episode, you would have noticed that every time Hannah Grose has a moment with Peter Quint, her mind spirals to a dark place. Finds its safe space in a memory of Owen,
I'm looking at this as an opportunity to hone my skills.
or warning of some sort, and resurfaces with a memory of Miles.
Oh, Miles is a good boy.
Huh?
It's trouble, but deep down, oh, he's a good boy.
Is he ever cruel?
Whatever would make you say that?
As you watch this scene, you see how Miss Grose becomes uncomfortable. Remember that Owen is not just a memory, but Hannah's subconscious, trying to bring her to a realization, a truth. And we all know that looking at the world through rose-colored glasses is sometimes easier than owning and feeling the truth.
He's a good boy, and he would never do anything to
Hurt you? Is that what you were going to say?
She is a really good actress. You can see that her words and body language do not match, and that she is very agitated. The conversation is making her uncomfortable, and she wants to escape from this memory or from this one-on-one FaceTime with her subconscious. It's as if she is on the cusp of a realization, but she'd rather hide in denial. We find out that Hannah Grose is accustomed to being in denial. The thing that drove her to Bly Manor was a broken heart.
And you're told to have blind faith in your husband, even if you hardly ever see him. But is that realistic?
Because her husband cheated on her and then ran away with the woman.
How long can you actually believe in something? I mean, truly believe in it, without seeing it. They both have their limits in that regard.
Hannah was in so much denial that she told people that he would come back. But honestly, why would she want him back?
Well, what's the alternative? Believe in nothing? Then what? What have you got when your back's against the wall and there's nothing left for you but faith?
The moment transitions to Hannah speaking with Rebecca Jessel, and Hannah is warning her of the darkness in Quint's heart. Rebecca protects him vehemently, speaking on his behalf and how he makes her feel. To me, it sounds like an emotional roller coaster she needs to get off. She puts Quint on a pedestal because her father never believed in her, and Quint does. Side note, parents should be their children's biggest cheerleader, no matter the age, because there is always someone out there waiting to emotionally exploit them. Back to the show. Miss Grose then talks to Owen about how Rebecca will leave the relationship too late.
That man is a glue trap. And when Rebecca realizes that she won't come out whole, she'll think she's okay. Till she realizes she's stuck.
Somehow Miss Grose was moved into a memory of Miss Jessel's, laying in bed with Peter Quint, and I guess this is the first time that two ghost memories collide into one consciousness.
I haven't seen you in this one before, though. What are you doing here? How did you slip into my...
I'm so sorry. Miss, I'm so sorry.
No, I wouldn't go out there.
And actually talk to each other. As Jessel and Quint lay in bed, we hear his plan, which is to basically steal as much money from the Wingraves as possible and run away to America because he doesn't think hard work will ever pay off because the British only believe in class. He has convinced Miss Jessel of the same ideology. As he leaves the room, he can't help but steal the bracelet from Charlotte Wingrave's room, which is the wing that is off limits. I think it weird that Jessel can see Hannah in the memory, but Quint cannot see Hannah. So I'm going to conclude that the moment that Jessel and Quint shared in bed, Jessel was already deceased and her ghost was keeping its form, while at this time Quint is still a part of the land of the living.
I thought I said go back to bed.
And we finally see what happened to Peter Quint. The whole time the children have been keeping this to themselves. So these children are truly being haunted by the mistakes of the adults.
I thought I said go back to bed.
The Lady of the Lake chokes Quint to death and drags him towards the off-limit wing, and Quint reappears from around the corner as nothing's happened.
Don't you remember?
We soon find out it is the ghost that again greets the children, and Quint doesn't understand what has happened to him yet. When he realizes he is dead, instead of accepting and moving on his way,
Stop, let me go.
he decides to abuse Miles by haunting him.
Let me go!
You bitch! Let me go!
After seeing something so devastating, Miss Grose finds herself back with Owen. She is distraught and thinks she is in someone else's dream.
To sleep her chance to dream, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil.
She still does not understand that Bly Manor is showing her what happened because she is now part of Bly Manor.
They're looking for you. And when they find out that you're back,
Hannah Grose.
Her subconscious is trying to tell her something is wrong with Miles.
It's a bore and you don't know when.
To leave well enough alone. For fuck's sake, woman! Why can't you just leave well enough alone?
The transition is so smooth, Peter Quint into Miles. Miss Grose cannot even put the two together, probably because she is in disbelief.
Miles.
Nope, most of the time, but not right now.
Peter Quint describes Bly Manor as a trap.
To be dragged off this fucking property, away from this god-awful trap.
So we are made aware that the spirits cannot leave Bly Manor, but I wonder if they are able to move on.
But I can't, can I?
You can't.
Because
You're dead.
But Peter Quint probably feels he deserves to see the world and will go off to hunt someone else. He doesn't actually want to move on to heaven or hell, which we kind of know he's probably going to hell.
honestly, Hannah!
And it happens so quickly.
Mrs. Grose, what's happening?
While this is all happening, Danny the Ampere is arriving at Bly, and the Miss Grose that she meets is actually a ghost. Remember how I peeped that Miss Grose never ate food? I had my suspicions all along.
Mrs. Grose, I'm having the strangest dream.
As Danny introduces herself to the ghost of Hannah Grose, Peter Quint's ghost hides in the trees. This was a really good episode, and I'm going to end my recap here. And to wrap up my recap, we've met the Lady of the Lake. We found out that Peter Quint's body is in the lake, and every person who winds up at Bly Manor has been affected by some type of corrupted love. Danny had unrequited love, and he died. Owen has an obligatory familial love, and his mother died. Rebecca Jessel had blind love, and Peter Quint. Hannah had cheating love from her husband leaving her for another woman, and Peter Quint has manipulative love. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and post your thoughts in the comment section.